Hey, what's going on, Dodgers Nation? D-Mac here. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. Quick reminder for all latest Dodgers news and rumors all off-season long. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. And as always, some of your takes down below in the comment section. Today's Dodgers Nation question of the day. 1, do you believe that the Dodgers are actually interested in signing Carlos Correa? And 2, should they sign Carlos Correa? Let me know down below. And for all latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. So are the Dodgers really interested in signing Carlos Correa? Well, Mark Berman tweeted out, according to MLB sources, the agent for free agent shortstop Carlos Correa has heard from the Yankees, Red Sox, Dodgers, Cubs, and Braves, and was offered 5 years, $160 million by the Astros last month. So that is a pretty big rumor right there. We've got to bring out the Dodgers rumor meter, and for this one, I'm still going to give it a 2 Dodger dogs. I think people are just talking, and I think those people are 1, Carlos Correa's agent, and 2, maybe some people within the Dodgers organization. Bill Plaschke did a story a few weeks ago where he said that there were people within the Dodgers organization that weren't against the idea of signing Carlos Correa. They called it a, quote, interesting idea. Now, the first thing you need to know is that the Dodgers are always linked to these big-time free agents. The bigger the free agent, the more likely they're going to be linked to the Dodgers in some capacity. Now, who's doing that linking? More often than not, it's the agent of the player, because they know that the Dodgers, that is the big money team. That is the team that has all the financial muscle, and you want to link your player to the Dodgers and try to drive up the price for your client for whatever team they actually do end up signing with. It is common practice at this point. Look, I don't care what you do for a living. Tell your boss that the Dodgers are interested in you, and you might be able to get a raise. It's like having 2 Chainz on a song a few years ago, or Nate Dogg on a hook in the early 2000s. You always see the Dodgers in on every single big-time player, so it doesn't always mean that it's substantiated. It doesn't always mean that is something that's going to happen. Look at Bryce Harper a few years ago, or Rendon, or Garrett Cole. The Dodgers always find themselves in the mix with big free agents, and yes, this could be just another example of the Dodgers being used by a top free agent's representatives to get their client maximum money. But let's just talk about Carlos Correa as a player for a second. We'll get to the Astros baggage in just a second, but as a player, does he make sense for the Dodgers? Well, 1, how good of a player is Carlos Correa? Well, last season, he slashed .279, .366, .485, hit 26 dingers, had 34 doubles, had 92 ribbies in 640 plate appearances, and did play in 148 games. And I think what you really like about Carlos Correa, the player, is how well he performs in the postseason. An .849 OPS, 18 home runs, 59 RBIs. Now, are those numbers somewhat inflated because of the Astros 2017 sign-stealing scandal? I think they have to be to an extent, but he has had other solid postseasons. In this last postseason, he ended up slashing .283, .368, .400, had a .768 OPS, hit 4 doubles, had 1 home run, and 9 RBIs. So definitely a good postseason, but not a great postseason. It's not like he was raking. It's not like he set the world on fire, did what Corey Seager did in 2020 or anything like that, but it was still very solid. And then you also have to consider his defense. He won the Platinum Glove Award last season. He can play elite shortstop, and there is some talk that he would be willing to shift over to third base. There's been some comparisons that, oh, he's the modern-day Alex Rodriguez. Well, 1, that's an unfair comparison to Carlos Correa, because 1, we know that Alex Rodriguez was Alex Rodriguez, and he hit over 50 home runs 3 different times in his career. He had a career-high 57 bombs in 2002, and Carlos Correa's career high, man, say that 3 times fast. Carlos Correa's career high in home runs is 26, and he did that this past season. So he doesn't hit with A-Rod's power, but when you talk about defensively, a shortstop that moved to third base, Carlos Correa definitely could do that, especially when you consider his height. He is a big guy at 6'4". I could definitely see that. He's a player player that has dealt with a slew of injuries in the past, so if he goes off that premium position, that more demanding position at shortstop, and slides over to third base, you could reduce the wear and tear and increase the chances of keeping him on the field. So that's the other thing too when it comes to Carlos Correa. There are some injury issues. There are some durability concerns. So is Carlos Correa injury prone? Well, back in 2017, he missed 42 games after he jammed his thumb against the catcher's shin guard during a slide at home plate. He hurt a ligament in his thumb, and then he re-injured that same thumb in the ALCS after a walk-off. And then in 2018, he had a toe injury that he sustained after fouling a ball off his toe that forced him to miss some time. And he also missed 36 games due to a back injury. He's also had a neck injury. But look, apparently he started to do yoga, increase his core exercises, and that has helped him stay on the field. He is just 27 years old, so that is something to feel good about if you're signing Carlos Correa. He entered free agency early, so if you are one of these teams out there that's going to sign Carlos Correa, you have to believe it's going to be for at the very least, a 10-year deal, and that would take him to his age 37 season. So we've seen some 10-year deals go beyond that, so that would be a plus. But I think as far as the Dodgers go, the big question I have is if there is any truth to this rumor that the Dodgers are interested in signing Carlos Correa, what does that say about Trea Turner? Are the Dodgers really interested in locking him up long term? Because he's under one more year of team control, and you'd have to believe that after losing out on Corey Seager, that the Dodgers need a shortstop of the future. They need a long-term solution at shortstop because, look, let's be honest, Gavin Lux isn't going to be that guy. The Dodgers want an elite player at that premium position, and at this point, you would have to believe that Andrew Friedman and the organization have some idea as to how receptive Trea Turner would be to signing an extension with them. Because would the Dodgers want to play out this final season with Trea Turner with the uncertainty of his future with the team? I think the Dodgers want to lock up a shortstop long term, and if Trea Turner has kind of already made it known that he doesn't want to sign that extension and even enter his free agency without the interest of signing long term in LA, would the Dodgers say, hey, well, Carlos Correa could be that guy? So to me, even if the Dodgers don't end up signing Carlos Correa, I do think this could be telling as far as the future with Trea Turner and the Los Angeles Dodgers, because you guys know where I stand. I'm a big Trea Turner guy. I love the trade for Trea, and I think that you don't let a player of his ilk get away because he is an elite player since the start of the 2020 season. Only Fernando Tatis Jr. has accrued more F-WAR than Trea Turner. I just think, look, he's a batting champion. I think that he could be an elite shortstop for this club. He's got some marketability. He's fast. You saw the slide heard around the world. But credit to the Dodgers for having the foresight to trade for Trea Turner, knowing that Corey Seager was likely going to walk at the end of the year. And also, you give up your top two prospects, Josiah Gray and Keibert Ruiz, for Max Scherzer and Trea Turner. Well, Max Scherzer already signed with the Mets, so if you don't extend Trea Turner, you have nothing to show for it at the end of the day. So if you did extend Trea Turner, it would make you feel better about that. But let's say the Dodgers did sign Carlos Correa. At that point, one, you would have to give up a draft pick, and two, you would have to consider possibly trading Trea Turner because, yes, you could play one more year. You have him at second base. Maybe you have him at shortstop and see if Carlos Correa, even though he's still a Platinum Glove Award winner at age 27, would he be shifting to third that early? I highly doubt that, and I also highly doubt that the Dodgers would strongly consider paying Trea Turner and Carlos Correa. That's an unrealistic scenario in my opinion. So, look, I'm not even advocating for this move. I'm just trying to tell you guys how the Dodgers could be viewing it based on the rumors that we're hearing. And I just think when it comes to Trea Turner, he's a guy you would want to invest in long term. Now, when it comes to Carlos Correa, those injury concerns, they would worry me. But if you think he's that guy, and maybe the Dodgers do, maybe they do like the fact that he brings that certain edge that he brings, that certain flavor that Carlos Correa plays with. Because let's be honest, let's say Carlos Correa was never a member of the Houston Astros. Let's say he was a member of another franchise. He's a player that would make sense in LA from a marketability standpoint. He's a young, charismatic star. He brings that extra it factor. He's a clubhouse leader. He plays with the fire that I think that this Dodgers team lacks at times. So it would make sense from that standpoint. But now let's get into the cons, because I think one of the big cons for me is the fact that he's hit over 300 once in his career. And when was that? Yes, it was in 2017 when they were banging trash cans. The highest OPS in his career was 941. When was that? it was in 2017 when they were banging trash cans and they were stealing signs. He also posted a 155 OPS plus that year. He's never posted OPS plus higher than 140 since that season. But he's still a really, really good star player. Don't get me wrong, but he's not in the Fernando Tatis Jr. caliber of shortstops when it comes to offensive production. Now, defensively, he's fantastic. Make no mistake about that. But the way I look at it is that, look, you can only give out so many of these $300+ million bags. And to me, the injury concerns are a factor. And then also, let's say the Dodgers sign him and he does sustain injuries and he doesn't produce. The Dodger fan base would never forgive this franchise for making that signing if it didn't work out. Now, could the Dodgers sign him and he be a star player and lead the Dodgers to World Series titles? Yes, that's possible in theory. That's definitely something that could be in the cards. And I think the Dodgers fans at some point would warm up to Carlos Correa. Me, it'd be pretty tough because the 2017 World Series, I'm still not over that. I will never get over that for millions of reasons that we've talked about ad nauseum on this show. But hey, you never know. Maybe Carlos Correa wants to sign with the Dodgers because he feels bad about what happened in 2017, and he thinks that he can right his wrong in due time with this franchise and this fan base. Maybe he goes live and sets his 2017 World Series ring on fire, and he tells everything about what happened, and he comes clean. Look, at the end of the day, I would rather have Trey, but I do think this is a very interesting development. I actually think that Carlos Correa works in Boston. To me, I think the Red Sox should sign him because Xander Bogaerts, he's not an elite defender. You could shift him over, and then also they have a lot of great defenders on that team. That is a franchise that values defense, and then also on top of that, you heard his comments about Derek Jeter, where Carlos Correa said that Derek Jeter didn't deserve any of his Gold Glove awards, so he's already a Yankees villain. So I think he would really fit in Boston, and I think that also the Astros might re-sign him, but they've been really shrewd with their business dealings and their negotiations with Carlos Correa. So that low ball offer, to me, I mean, do you really see them going from 160 to 300+ million? I just don't think that. But I do think the Red Sox are the best fit. We'll see if the Dodgers are really in the mix. But hey, the bottom line is we can't resume these negotiations until they reach a new collective bargaining agreement, and that doesn't look like it's going to happen at any point in the near future. It could be months before they reach an agreement. But let me know down below in the comment section. 1, do you believe this rumor that the Dodgers are interested in Carlos Correa? And 2, should the Dodgers sign Carlos Correa? And 3, would you ever forgive Carlos Correa if he did sign with LA? I want you guys to tell me down below in the comment section. My name is D-Mac. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. For all things Dodger baseball, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. And if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. For all latest Dodgers Nation merch, head over to gearup.la. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.